Hi guys, so once again I'm going to remind you, make sure you have your compass protractor and a straight edge or ruler with you. Go get them. So moving on from that, don't forget as we go through our notes, if there is vocabulary, get it written down on your vocabulary sheet. So there is a bunch in this one. So we have acute angles, right angles, obtuse angles, straight angles, and reflex angles. So an acute angle, is an angle that has a measure between 0 and 90 degrees. Okay, a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse angle, your angle is between 90 and 180 degrees. Straight angle, you're exactly 180 degrees. Reflex angle is between 180 and 360 degrees. Okay, so make sure those get onto your vocabulary sheet along with a picture of each. So identifying each type of angle. So here, by showing a box in the corner, I know this is a right angle. Here, this is obviously going to be a straight line, so a straight angle. So 180 degrees, here's 90 degrees. See, okay, so it's bigger than 90 degrees, but not like bigger than 180 degrees. So this is obtuse. Here we have a little angle, it's so acute. And here, not looking at this one, so see where the angle is actually located. So this is a reflex. So bigger than 180, but smaller than a whole circle. So a reflex angle. Now, referent angles are what you can use to just kind of approximate how big an angle is by just looking at it. So 90 degrees, you can usually tell when something is 90 degrees or close to 90 degrees. Our human eyes are pretty good at that. Here, 45 degrees is just half of 90. Here, 30 degrees is a third of 90. And 60 degrees is like 2/30s. So like 2/3 of 90 degrees. So really easy to see. Kind of about how big an angle is. So using referents, these ones to estimate how big each of these angles is. So taking a look at angle A, it looks like it's kind of more around the 45-ish degree mark, maybe a little bit bigger. So you could say something like it's 45 degrees to 50 degrees. So usually being able to get within about 5 degrees is kind of what you're hoping for. Now this one here looks most like 30 degrees, but maybe like a little bit smaller, right? So this might be like 20 to 25-ish degrees. Ish. Okay, this one is really close to 180, but not quite 180. So maybe this is around like 170 degrees ish. Okay, so when I ask you to estimate the size of angles, I want you to try to get kind of within 5 degrees. So you can write it out like this, or like 170 would be like maybe this is 167 to 172 or 173. Okay, so a couple different ways you can think about writing those. Okay, so complementary and supplementary angles now. So complementary angles are two angles that have measures that add up to 90 degrees. One way you can kind of remember this is it is right to give compliments. Okay, it's right of you to give compliments, remembering that a right angle is 90 degrees. Okay, so that's one way you can remember complementary angles. So it's right to give compliments, right angles are 90 degrees. So you have two angles that measure up to give you 90 degrees. Okay, so this angle plus this angle is 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are two angles that have measures that add up to 180 degrees. I don't have a really fun way to remember that one, but if you're supplementing something, you're adding to it. So like 180 degrees is larger than 90. It's like two 90s actually. So you're supplementing your complementary angle with another 90 degrees. So 180. I don't know. It's not as good as my right to give compliments one. Okay, so I have two angles, A and B, and if you add them together, you get 180 degrees. So supplementary angles and complementary angles. And once again, just making sure you're getting those terms into your vocabulary along with the picture. Okay, so filling in this chart with the complement and supplement of each angle if they exist. So how to find the complement? I know that a complement, it's right to give complements. So these are two angles that are going to add together to give 90 degrees. So if I know one of my angles, I can just do my 90 degrees minus that angle. Let's just call it angle A, minus A. And I'm going to get what my complement is. So 90 degrees minus my angle that I'm given will give me what the complement is. So 90 degrees minus 75. So what plus 75 gives me 90? Okay, and that is 15 degrees. So if I want to show the math that I'm doing, so 90 degrees minus 75 degrees, and I get 15 degrees. Now, don't forget, you do have units that you need to write. Don't just write 15, it's 15 degrees. Make sure you get that little degree sign there. Okay, so finding the complement of 43, what plus 43 gives me 90. So 90 minus 43, and I get 47 degrees. Now, what plus 103 gives me 90? Now here's a problem, 103 is larger than 90. So in WAM, so in workplace math, we do not go into negative angles. So if you go into foundations or pre-calc, we do talk about negative angles, but in workplace math, usually you will not deal with a negative angle if you're, for example, a contractor or something. So what we will do is just say, well, since this is larger than 90, there will be no complement, so not applicable to us because it is larger than 90 degrees. So it will not have a complement. So if it's over 90, we have no complement. You're already too awesome. There's no complements to give you. Okay, now 87 degrees, that is under 90. 90 minus 87 degrees, and we get the complement of that is 3 degrees. Here, 90 minus 300, I get a negative angle again. This is over 90, so this is another NA. So not applicable, it's already larger than 90 degrees. Now supplement, remember, two angles that give me 180. So to figure out the supplement of an angle, I do 180 degrees minus whatever my angle is. So here, finding the supplement of 75. So what do I need to add to 75 to get 180? So 180 degrees minus 75 degrees, and you get 105, and don't forget your units, degrees. Okay, same thing here, 180 minus 43, and we get 137 degrees. Then 180 minus 103 degrees, we get 77 degrees. 180 minus 87, 93 degrees. And 180 minus 300, oh, I get a negative number again. So same thing, if it's over 90, there's no complement. If it's over 180 degrees, there is no supplement. Right? So we're not dealing with negative angles here. So this is not applicable to us. Right. And that's the end of your notes for this. So you can go on to your worksheet.